Okay. So you are at this moment where you're studying technology and you want to become a web programmer. You realize that you have to do English yourself. You've already gone through songs, learning how to pronounce things correctly, realizing that that's probably not enough to really take your vocabulary to where it needs to go. And you think about reading.
Yes.
So tell me about reading. What effect did it have on your English? What kind of process was that for you?
So I was thinking about what could I read, what kind of book I could read, but I just then realized I already had the answer in front of me. Well, Sherlock Holmes and Harry Potter to start with.
Perfect.
Two stories I had known for years, even front to back, back to front. I've read a lot
Yeah.
of them.
Normally in English, we say cover to cover.
Yeah, yes. And I started to look for Sherlock Holmes books in English. I got a tiny book with, I believe, two or three stories, short stories,
Hmm.
and I was like, well, this is it. This is it. I'm gonna start reading in English now. And I started to go through the books, and there's a lot of words I have never seen before, and I was just circle those words and look them up after.
uh, I think that's a good point to mention. So your first intuition was not to stop reading and immediately look up words on your phone, but just to circle them and try to continue given the context.
Yes, well, at first it was, and you were saying look on the phone. This was 2010, and I did not have a smartphone back then, so it was good old dictionary.
Yeah, which I think probably would be good if a lot of people, when they're sitting down to study English, if their phone was not involved in that process and they had a good old dictionary by their side. Ugh, I miss having dictionaries.
You missed the good old days.
I miss the good old. I don't know why it sounds like we are two like 60-year-old gentlemen talking about the good old days.
Yes. So I think part of the reason I quit this idea of looking the words in the dictionary as I was reading, it was because of the logistics involved. I had to stop the page and open the dictionary and look the word up and trying to see what it was, close the dictionary and go back to the book. And it took me some time.
Yeah, it would take forever, and it just kind of really interrupts the process.
Yes.
I was telling you before we started recording, I was reading in Portuguese yesterday, a relatively simple text. And I've been studying Portuguese for more than 5 years now. And on every single page, there were at least like 5 words that I had never seen before. And if I stop to like look up each one of those words, I'm just going to be on my phone the entire time and not reading. So just even nowadays, for quite advanced speakers, we still have the same problem.
Yep. And I just wanted to talk about a funny method that I came across uh,
Yes, please.
after reading the Sherlock Holmes book. Thing is, the book it is. I still have it here with me. It is pretty short. I think less than 50 pages, maybe. So
Hmm.
when I finished reading the book, I was like, okay, I know I now have a bunch of new words I didn't know, but I cannot like just read this book forever. Well,
Right.
let's take the next step. Let's climb up the ladder. And I was like, am I ready for Harry Potter? Am I? Well, and I was looking at the size of the books and the number of pages, and was like, man, can I really do this? And it's really hard to come across Harry Potter books in English here in Brazil, as far as I know, unless you go to a used book store,
Hmm.
and that's what I did. And to my surprise, I found one. I found the sixth book, that is the Half Blood Prince.
Yeah, the Half-Blood Prince, one of, eh, I don't want to say my favorite books, but a great book. They're all great.
And I started to read it. And a method I thought it would be good was, well, I have already decided that I wouldn't look the word on the dictionary right on, so
Hmm.
I would circle the word. I was write it down, every word, divided by chapter, and after I finished the chapter, I would look every word on the dictionary and find
Hmm.
the meaning. Something
Yeah.
and after some time, something I started to do. It was pretty much seamless for me. I started to try to guess the meaning of the word by the context of the phrase.
Yeah.
Was okay, I think this, maybe this word mean this. I would put a question mark at the end of the word and just see if I got it right later.
Yeah. Can I say a couple of things about that method?
Yeah.
Number one, I love it. I think it's awesome. I think more often than not, your intuition is going to be correct about what the word means, at least approximately. Number two, just about your note taking process, the idea of circling or highlighting words and then dividing that by chapters. I think that's really, really powerful for two reasons. Number one, you can you can begin to see patterns. Like if in every chapter you're seeing the same words appear again and again, that is definitely a sign like, okay, this is an important word to know. And also, like you were saying, I think it just gives you a clear picture of, okay, I read this chapter. There were 200 words that I did not understand, but I still understood the chapter.
Yes. Yes. I don't remember how many chapters there were in the Half Blood Prince, but I remember
A lot. Yeah.
I remember that by the end of the book, the size of my notes per chapter was, well, it has less and less words.
Gotcha. It was, you could say getting smaller or diminishing.
Getting smaller. How could I forget that?